Hi, I'm Casey Bailey, and this is ReThink number 3 for the months of July and August 2016. Well, I'm really looking forward to getting back to school here after the summer break, and been thinking a lot this summer about how last year went and what went well, what didn't go so well. And as I was perusing some good ideas on Twitter, I came across the idea of a failure report. A teacher or a school leader or a student or whomever it is basically confesses things that went not very well that they had tried to do in the prior year. There are a couple of goals. One of those is an honest reflection of what could have gone a lot better. You know, they say confession is good for the soul. And that reflection can lead to really positive and meaningful change in the following year. Number 2, you as a school leader or as a teacher are demonstrating for kids that failure is not all that bad, and that the best of us in trying, we fail, like the old Teddy Roosevelt Man in the Arena quote says. A failure report is an attempt to get kids to just make an effort and to try, even if they might fail. There's a lot of things that I like about that whole concept of a failure report. There's a couple of things though that I don't like or that I would tweak about it. One of them is just calling it a failure report, the emphasis on failure. And so one of the things that I think could go really bad with that is that teachers or students might feel dejected by the whole premise of coming up with ways in which you failed and having to state those publicly for other people to hear. Some people don't like public speaking, and the only thing that could possibly make it worse is if you were talking about all the ways in which you were bad. So, and what may even be worse is if your teachers were to do a failure report and they were to, be sharing this with other teachers, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh well, you screwed up and I screwed up, and maybe that's not so bad. And to develop a culture of negativity, or where it's okay to fail, or where okay to fail really just means mediocrity's okay, or your low standards are my low standards, and we're okay with low standards. So with that in mind, I think that a failure report's a great idea as long as you spin it in a positive way. And how can we make things better? So with that in mind, I'm putting my own spin on the failure report. I'm calling it the principal's grade card. Something that I'm sure a lot of students and teachers have been waiting for a long time. So for those out there who have been waiting for the principal to grade himself or for the principal to receive a grade, I hope this satisfies you. I realize that students and teachers are probably not going to be completely satisfied with this, because it's me grading me on myself based on whatever standards and criteria that I pick. I'm going to try to maybe mitigate some of those, the subjectivity and bias in a principal grade card where the principal grades himself type of thing, but that is the whole principle behind a failure report, is that you grade yourself. And also, because I'm not a huge fan of letter grades, I'm going to use the old DESE map test: below basic, basic, proficient, and advanced. So rather than just choose all of the criteria that I think would be great for me to grade myself on, I decided to look at some actual research on school leadership. So in a working paper by Tim Waters, Robert Marzano, and Brian McNulty titled "Balanced Leadership: What 30 Years of Research Tells Us About the Effect of Leadership on Student Achievement," it's kind of a meta-analysis of what research over the last 30 years has put together on school leadership and its effects. There are 21 attributes of effective school leaders that have a meaningful impact on student achievement. And the top 5 in order are what I'm going to use from top to bottom to grade myself on. So number 1 is called situational awareness. It has a 0.33 effect size. It's defined as aware of the details and undercurrents in the running of the school, and uses this information to address current and potential problems. So with that as the definition, I had to give myself probably a below basic for last year. It's pretty low, but it's really more because I feel like I spent a majority of my time last year holed up in my office, just either pushing the papers that I was having to push, or just even figure out what I was supposed to do on a day-to-day basis so that I didn't lose my job. So with that in mind, I know I could do a lot better at being aware of what's going on in the school. I think one of the most effective ways for a school leader to do this is just be out and just be visible. And so one of the things that I plan on doing a lot more this year, hopefully now that I've got a year under my belt, is to get out of the office more and spend a lot more time with students, with teachers, with the stakeholders in our district, in and outside of the building, with parents, and connect with our customers. And so I hope really to spend a lot more time with those people. You know, they say that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So I hope that maybe being out with the students will give me an idea or a sense of what's going on in our school, both positive and negative, being out with the teachers, being out in the community. Criteria number 2, intellectual stimulation. It has a 0.32 effect size. It's defined by the researchers as ensures that faculty and staff are aware of the most current theories and practices and makes the discussion of these a regular aspect of the school's culture. My grade on this is going to have to be basic at best. While I feel like I was regularly making myself aware of theories and best practices quite a bit, and even discussing them with some people, I don't feel like I was actively promoting that with the faculty and with the staff in the school building. And so I hope to figure out a way to make my research that I find in those cool articles and ideas that I find out in the Twitterverse a little bit more of the discussion amongst some of the teachers and the faculty and the administrators at the school. One of the ways that I plan on doing this is just by using this blog. I hope that maybe these discussions that I bring up in these videos will encourage teachers and administrators to step out and do some things they wouldn't normally do, or just even share some ideas and thoughts on the ideas that I'm putting out there. And also, in doing that, I'm modeling the use of technology for teachers and administrators who maybe are not comfortable doing that, and in using Twitter and in using some of these other social media tools to go out and hunt for really good ideas outside of the 4 walls of the school building. Then hopefully we're bringing in ideas from outside, and I can model what good professional technology use looks like for our students and staff. Number 3 was titled Change Agent. It has a 0.3 effect size. It's defined by the researchers as willing to and actively challenges the status quo. I'm going to have to give myself a basic here again, because while I feel like I probably am on the lunatic fringe of crazy school ideas and things that challenge the status quo, I don't feel like I was any threat to the status quo last year. I like to talk about some of these ideas, but I often don't do it out in public. And what I've discovered is the more I'm on Twitter and the more I'm on some of these social media tools, I find that my ideas aren't as crazy as I thought they were, and that there are a lot of other really good educational leaders who are thinking about the same things that I am, and I'm sure you are too. And they're spending time, just like you are right now watching this video, trying to become better. So I guess my really only bottom line advice to myself on there is be bold, Bailey. Get out there and share some of your crazy ideas, because they're not maybe all that crazy after all. So look out, status quo, here I come. Number 4 is input. It has a 0.3 effect size. It's defined as involves teachers in the design and implementation of important decisions and policies. My grade on this has got to either be a below basic or not observable at all, because considering I'm not really undertaking any decisions that yet need design and implementation, I can't really say that I've had anything to involve teachers in. That being said, I have some things planned to roll out this year, and that involves some design and implementation, and I hope to be able to say next year that I got some input from my stakeholders on how to design or to maybe more effectively redesign some things that we're doing at the school. Number 5 is culture. It has a 0.29 effect size. It's defined as fosters shared beliefs and a sense of community and cooperation. If I'm going to give myself a passing grade on anything, I feel like I probably can get a proficient here, because I feel like I'm just generally a pretty positive person. in my conversations with teachers and my conversations with students, I try to keep things lighthearted, and I try to keep the focus not on negative but on positive things and how we can change to make things better rather than what we did and how it was a failure. So I feel like I'm a team player. I try to actively promote what school leaders are promoting in their buildings and within the district. That doesn't mean that I don't have a lot of room for improvement. In fact, like I said, my number one priority this year is to be out with students and teachers and connect with community stakeholders in a way that I can not only get feedback on what is going well in our schools and in our buildings and in the district, but also promote what we're trying to do in those buildings and promote a culture of effectiveness, culture of excellence rather, and one that includes everybody in getting better. So I'll be in charge of the A+ program, so I'll be monitoring a lot of the academic progress, especially for the high school, but also for the middle school students. And I'll also be in charge of, this is kind of a secret for the middle schoolers, but Check and Connect is coming to you middle school. High school, we're going to keep it, and I'll be in charge of that program at both buildings. So hopefully I'll have the opportunity to make a positive impact on students and their connectedness to school, having positive feelings and relationships at school, and also toward academic progress. Other noteworthy points from the research was outreach has a 0.28 effect size, and that is defined as an effective and an advocate and spokesperson for the school to all stakeholders, which I really feel goes with the culture one previous, and also monitors/evaluates is a 0.28 effect size, monitors the effectiveness of school practices and their impact on student learning, and that really just goes without saying because of course we know what doesn't get monitored doesn't get done. All in all, I'm really excited about the new school year. I hope you are too. If you're taking up a new position or a new job or a redefined title like I am, best wishes to you. Carpe diem, seize the day, and make it as good as you can. If something that we've discussed in this episode, I know it was a long one, has struck a chord with you, or maybe you've done failure reports and you've got some really good ideas on how to do those in a positive way, share those down in comments and keep the conversation going for the benefit of all those who participate here. I'm Casey Bailey, thanks. Follow me on Twitter at CaseyMBailey, and we'll see you next time.